most underrated prospect in the draft. I see yours, and I love it because we have the exact same guy.
Well, Charles Grant. You've heard me talk about offensive linemen, the value that these guys have, and the ability for them not only to help your team immediately, but grow. And nobody has more room for growth than William & Mary, offensive tackle Charles Grant. This guy makes movement look elementary. He just looks smooth and easy doing it. He just started playing the game. He's obviously a guy that wasn't playing against elite tier competition, but as someone who played in junior college and played baseball in college, I can relate to what Mr. Grant's probably gone through. He's probably licking his chops getting ready to go play against the best, because I would assume he has that kind of confidence. And if you're a William & Mary guy, you're a really smart player. People always say the offensive line is the smartest position group on the team. And if you're a William & Mary guy, you instantly become the smartest offensive lineman in the room.
And I'm right there with you. I love the trajectory of this guy. He not only, so he started playing football as a junior in high school. He got to William & Mary. Guess how much he weighed?
270.
240.
Jeez.
He has gained over 60 pounds since getting there, and still has the frame, like 6'10" and a half inch wingspan. He still has a frame to he could get up to 315, 320. And just the guy is a heck of an athlete. Obviously had an injury that missed him a lot of his pre-draft process. Would have had a lot more hype if he did have that. But you just watch him run on the football field. The guy can scoot. He really has all the traits, and just not only just, the way he moves, but then the way he uses his hands. You see the wrestling background, you see his ability to gain leverage with his hands, to torque with his upper body, the control. That's just that's what it looks like when you get to the high end. That's what the high end guys look like. He needs obviously technical refinement, but it truly is all there with him. I do think that we'll be talking about him as just starting offensive tackle at minimum.
I remember my rookie year at the Pro Bowl. I was an alternate my rookie year. So somebody was going skiing, and they were like, Kyle, you have to come because a real Pro Bowler is missing and we need you. So I showed up, and I'm in the hotel lobby for check-in in Hawaii, and they give you your lei when you walk in. And then I saw a giant 10-foot tall wood statue in the corner, and it looked, and then it turned to me. The statue turned to me. It was Tyron Smith, and Tyron Smith looked like a god, and his arms went down. His fingers were down by his low calves, and he was just chiseled from stone, and a guy that could gain 20 pounds and not look fat, could gain 30 pounds and not look fat. Charles Grant, when you talk about his measurables, there's a certain way a O tackle is supposed to look. That's how you're supposed to look.
100%. All right. Boom. The most boom or a bust prospect in this year's class.
I'm going to go with Luther Burden III. And this is, guy's a really good player. Okay. We both like him, and we've talked about him a lot. But because we had a boom or bust segment, I got to give a quotable here from a scout. And I love quoting just scouts. Okay.
Yes.
Nobody wants to put their name on it. So he's a 5-star. They kiss his ass for 3 years just to keep him there. The girlfriend is his manager. The mom is a problem, but he's a good player on Saturday, and he's very ordinary Monday through Friday. Now, the first part of this,
mom just catching
the first part of this, the girlfriend is his manager. Okay, my wife is, my CEO, my manager. Okay, she's graduated from manager to CEO. And I'm sure your fiance is the same way in your life, right? So I have no problem with the girlfriend as his manager. That's just bullshit. It's a low blow to throw in there. Maybe he's jealous. This scout is jealous that his girlfriend doesn't help him manage. The mom is a problem. Well, let's get in deep. What does that even mean? You can't just be throwing out the mom as a problem and not having backup. This is the part that got me. Okay. If I am a decision maker, I'm reading this last sentence, but he's a good player on Saturday, and he's very ordinary Monday through Friday. Very ordinary Monday through Friday. That's not good. You go to the NFL and you find out very quickly that not only are these guys the best athletes, but it's more often than not the people that have the best habits. and are the best people. And oftentimes you hear coaches say, this is not a football business, this is a people business. You want people to feel good being around you. You want people to be motivated being around you. You want people to know through your work ethic, Monday through Saturday in the National Football League, it's another day now, that you're going to be there and do your shit. I'm confused as to why they would say that, but I haven't heard that said about anybody else in this draft class, which leads me to believe that he fits the bill for our boom or bust prospect segment.
And I think it shows on tape. He has all the capabilities to be an elite route runner, but he's not. Why is he not? It's not like the guy's, hasn't been playing wide receiver for forever. He has. It's like, I do think that when you watch him on film, you see this as well. So I think he fits the bill. My guy is Shamar Stewart for biggest boom or bust. I'm not breaking any ground here. I think everyone has the same take on him. Got his 4.5 career sacks. He also has, testing numbers comparable to Myles Garrett. So it's a square, a circle. You got square, but we'll see how Shamar Stewart fares in the NFL. All right, player you trade up for. If he falls, we're going to do pick 15, and then we're going to do pick 30. So if he falls to pick 15, who's the guy you trade up for?
I may end up swapping these two, but I feel good about both my answers. So falling to pick 15, this is a guy that I really loved on film when I was doing the scouting of him. Now, granted, he was healthy when he was on film, and there's been some health issues with Josh Simmons. But you talked about position versatility. People talked about moving him inside. I thought he fit just fine at the offensive tackle position. He's a guy with a chip on his shoulder. He also was a transfer to Ohio State. Did not have 4 years of one school. I'm interested to see what happens when he goes into a building and can have that family feeling around him, because we know with the current climate in college football that all these guys are as selfish as they've ever been. And I hate to say that, but that's just when you bring all this money into it, there's a lot of decisions being made for me as opposed to we. You kind of fall back into we when you get to the National Football League. And I think Josh Simmons, if given the right room, if there's a team there with a group of guys who he can flourish with, they might pull the trigger, because I think he is very good. You've heard my sentiments about offensive linemen and their value.
Yeah. I do think Simmons, if you get a clean bill of health on him and he's at pick 15, 100%. I think he's closer to the level of Membu, Campbell, Banks, whatever, at the top of this draft than he is to the next group of tackles, in my opinion. My guy that I think could realistically fall to pick 15, and I'd be willing to trade up for T-Mac, Tyrell McMillan, Arizona wide receiver. He just has such a high floor. He moves so fluidly for a guy his size. He can stop so well. He has such good hands. He's so natural as an athlete that speed concerns, he's not slower than Drake London coming out. Drake London went 8th overall. Drake London didn't run a 40 in the pre-draft process. T-Mac is not slower than him on tape. Drake London is now obviously one of the best receivers in the NFL. I don't think anyone's confusing him for a top 5 wide receiver anytime soon, but no one's going to say that
his physical traits
pick.
Makes him an outlier.
Yes.
And they can rely on, he can post guys up.
Exactly. He's
play tall, play strong.
A true number 1 type of wide receiver that you pump targets to.
Red zone. The way I always look at it, if you're a great receiver, they're going to throw to you in the red zone. Mm-hmm. You don't get that kind of treatment if you're not a guy. And Drake London gets it in Atlanta. And I like Tet McMillan because of his physical traits, because you can't teach that.
And they can win in high leverage situations. Maybe on 1st and 2nd down, they're not running deep posts that go for 70 yards. But on 3rd and 6, you better double him. On a 2nd and 5 at the goal line, you better double him. If he's singled up on the outside, chances are he's winning that. And it's a touchdown, and it's a 1st down. So, yes, Tyrell McMillan, I'm trading up for Packers. Feel free to take that into account. All right.
Well, then it's another guy who's not a true number 1 in Green Bay, and it's just a bunch of guys who are really good.
Quit. Don't put that juju on.
Beef. We need beef.
Positive energy.
Josh Jacobs, do you hear what I'm saying? Josh Jacobs, just echo these sentiments on social media.
He was the one that created the firestorm at the Super Bowl.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Are you listening to this? Retweet it.
Tet. Although apparently he doesn't go by Tet. He says, no one ever calls me Tet. It's T-Mac or Tet Tyroa.
I like T-Mac a lot.
Yeah, T-Mac's good. But like there is one iconic T-Mac though, at least in my generation, our generation.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
You say T-Mac, it's 2000 dunk contest T-Mac playing with the Raptors, or Orlando dunking on Yao Ming T-Mac. It's not Arizona wide receiver T-Mac. Sorry.
Didn't T-Mac score like 17 points in 6 seconds or something like that?
Oh yeah, what was it? That was with the Rockets.
Pull it up, Jamie. We'll find it. We'll figure it out.
All right. If he falls to 30, who's the player you're trading up for?
Gray Zabel. Okay. And he's gonna probably be there, right? He'll be there.
He very well could, yeah.
But this is more of a who are you trading up for, or who are you gonna reach for a little bit? May not be in the top 30, but Gray Zabel. Mm-hmm. I love this guy's ball. I mean, the guy plays great ball. He's got a ton of position versatility. You watch him on film. He was there at the Senior Bowl playing center, guard, tackle. He did it all, and he was wearing people out. He's got great hands. He's obviously got the demeanor to play offensive line at the next level, because you may have the physical tools to get it done in college, but when somebody punches you in the mouth day one of training camp, you better have an answer. I think Gray Zabel's a guy who's got an answer. And you talk about culture fits. This is going to be a culture fit. Nobody likes an offensive lineman more than when they come in from a small school with a mustache and they can play any position. And their name is Gray Zabel. It looks like, when they generate your username on Xbox and it's like Whirly Pig or like, Loopy Dinosaur. Gray Zabel was like pick 7. He probably just pressed shuffle. His mom. Educated ferret. His mom pressed shuffle a couple times, came up with Gray Zabel, and they said, here's your helmet. Go play some football, son.
I like that because also say I'm trying to think who's like in the market. Say you're outside like 40. You're like the Bears at 39, Saints at 40, and you want that left guard. You're the Saints. You're jumping teams in the Giants, the Titans, the Jags, who could all use interior offensive line that are probably going to jump at the chance to draft Gray Zabel if he falls. All right, my guy, I'm actually going to throw a couple names out here. My first one is Colston Loveland, if he falls to pick 30, the Michigan tight end. Because, again, you're jumping 2 teams that would probably take him, in the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Definitely keep him away from Kansas City.
The Chiefs got him?
We can't let that happen.
My God.
So go jump, please. Please, someone jump the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's the next graphic on Monday Night Football. They're like, this team could have had Colston Loveland, but they ended up in Patrick Mahomes' lap.
Now, so Colston Loveland, and I'll also throw Walter Nolan in there because the Chiefs and the Eagles could use that 3 technique, could use another defensive tackle in their defense. So those 2 guys, they're both top 12 guys on my board. And because of that, I think I've seen them end up there in mocks. And if they do, jump. Someone, please jump, especially the Eagles. We can't let them get Walter Nolan.
They can't let them keep getting away with this.